So let me ask you a question. Can hacking actually be ethical? I know, it sounds like a total contradiction, right? But what if I told you that some of the very best defenders of our digital world are, in fact, hackers? Let's dive into how that's even possible.
And you're not alone in thinking that. This quote from security pro Kimberly Graves hits the nail on the head. For most of us, the phrase ethical hacker just feels wrong, like jumbo shrimp. But that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. How the very same tools an attacker uses can actually be used to build a much, much stronger defense.
All right, so to get this straight, let's look at the two sides of the coin. On one side, you've got your black hat hacker. This is the person you see in the movies, right? They're malicious, they're breaking in for personal gain, causing chaos. But then you have the white hat. Now, these are security professionals who use the exact same skills and techniques, but with one absolutely crucial difference. They have permission, and their entire goal is to help an organization find its weak spots before the bad guys do.
So, how does a white hat hacker actually do their job? It's not just a bunch of frantic typing in a dark room with a hoodie on. No, it's a super methodical process, and it all starts with phase 1, the investigation. This is all about reconnaissance, basically acting like a digital detective to gather information without ever directly touching the target systems.
This first step is called footprinting, and the goal here is to create a complete map, a blueprint of the organization's entire digital world. We're talking about piecing together what seems like tiny, insignificant bits of public information, stuff from their website, news articles, maybe even job postings, to build this incredibly detailed picture of the target.
And this is not a random goose chase. It's a very structured path where each step builds on the last. You start out really broad, finding the company's IP address range. Then you start to narrow your focus, figuring out which machines are actually active, what ports might be open, and eventually mapping out the entire network.
And get this, one of the most powerful hacking tools out there is one you and I use every single day: Google. It's a technique called Google hacking, and it uses very specific search queries to find things that should not be public. For instance, a simple search like the one you see here can instantly pull up a list of firewall servers that have accidentally exposed their internal information alerts to the entire internet. It's all just hiding in plain sight.
Okay, so once that passive, behind-the-scenes investigation is done, the ethical hacker is ready to get a little more active. This brings us to phase 2, the probe. This is where they go from just observing from a distance to actually, poking and prodding the target's defenses.
I absolutely love the way security pros talk about this phase. They call it rattling the doorknobs. Think about that. The hacker isn't trying to smash the door down just yet. They are systematically going around and just checking to see which digital doors are unlocked, which windows might be open, and what services are listening for someone to connect. It's a really cautious but very active test of the perimeter.
So how do you rattle a doorknob digitally? Well, you scan for open ports. Think of a computer's IP address like its street address. Ports are just the numbered doors on that building. Port 80 is usually the front door for web traffic. Port 21 is for file transfers, and so on. Finding an open port tells the hacker exactly what kind of service is running on the other side, and it gives them a very specific target to look at.
All right, after all that preparation, all that probing, we get to the moment everyone thinks of when they hear the word hacking. This is phase 3, the breach. This is where the ethical hacker actually tries to gain access to the system.
But here's the twist. The breach doesn't always come from some brilliant piece of code or a complex technical exploit. So often, the biggest vulnerability isn't technical at all. It's us. It's human. Let me tell you a true story. A group of consultants was hired to test the security of a massive shipping firm. They got no special access, just one simple goal: get in.
So what was their genius plan? First, they did a little homework. They just called the HR department and learned the names of a few key employees. Then they showed up at the front door, carrying a big, heavy-looking box. And they just pretended they'd lost their key and needed some help. And what do you think happened? A helpful employee, seeing them struggling, let them right in the front door. A little while later, on the 3rd floor, as they approached a secure area, another friendly employee saw them with that big box and just held the secure door open for them. No alarms went off, no guards tackled them, just simple human kindness.
I mean, just think about that for a second. By exploiting nothing more than our natural desire to be helpful, these consultants walked right past all the expensive, high-tech security systems. They gained access to the firm's entire corporate network. And this incredibly powerful technique has a name. It's called social engineering.
That story is just a classic example of human-based social engineering, right? Just impersonating an employee. But this stuff happens digitally all the time, too. Computer-based social engineering includes all the things we know we should watch out for. Those phishing emails trying to trick you into giving up your password, or malicious pop-ups that try to lure you into installing something nasty. Okay, so let's say the ethical hacker does it. They're successful. They found a technical flaw or they've exploited a human weakness, and now they are in. This is the moment. This is what truly separates the white hat from the black hat. It's all about what happens next, the final goal. For a black hat hacker, the goal is simple: exploit and profit. Steal data, cause damage, make money. Before the white hat, the goal is the complete opposite. Their entire job is to document the vulnerability, report it, and give the organization everything they need to fortify their system against a real attack.
And really, that's the bottom line. An ethical hacker's final product isn't stolen data or a broken server. It's a detailed report. They give you a roadmap that shows exactly how they got in, what the risks are, and, most importantly, how to fix them. They don't break things. They show you where the cracks are so you can seal them up for good.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Can hacking be ethical? Well, when you use it to find and fix security holes before the criminals can find them, it seems like it's not just ethical, it's absolutely essential. And it leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world of constant digital threats, maybe the best defense really is a good offense.